Is Maroon 5 actually a color on the color wheel? Hello, all my kings and queens, and all of us who dare to dream. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video today. If this is your first time here, welcome. Please think about sticking around. Everybody else, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this family. It means the world to me. And I just want to remind everybody to take a moment, not just for me, but for other small YouTubers and fellow small businesses out there. Take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. These four very simple steps will take you less than 30 seconds to do. And this means the world to everybody who you do this for. So I hope that you do that for me, but also spread the love to other YouTubers, other small businesses, and other places that you support. All right, so today we're going to go ahead and get right into this. I am going to be doing a video about Patsy Ramsey. So I've had the request of doing Jon Benet Ramsey for a very long time. And I agree, it's something that I should do. I have been avoiding it for a very long time, but there's reasons for that. I think we need to start with Jon Benet's story with her parents. We'll be doing a separate video for Jon Ramsey, but this one is going to focus just on Patsy. Now, I want to remind everybody that Spirit is under no obligation to speak to you. Just like people in life, they don't have to. And I'm going to tell you that Patsy Ramsey is making this incredibly difficult for me. I get headaches. I've been forgetting. I've had brain fog. I have a very difficult time talking about her. Um, her energy is all sorts of closed off, and that's fine. I'm going to give you guys what I can because I think it's important to understand the past before we even get to the birth of Jean Benet. So let's get started and we'll see how this goes because she is fighting me tooth and nail, and that's fine. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to her family. This is all for entertainment purposes only. And everything is going to be allegedly, supposedly, because I'm not trying to force an unwilling spirit. I'm trying to talk to the energy to see what I can get. And she might completely shut me down, and you guys will see that. So let's go. All right. So Patsy Ramsey was born in Virginia on December 29th, 1956, and passed away June 24th, 2006. Her parents were, it's Nettie, Neda, or Nidra, Nedra, I don't know for sure, and Donald Prush. She also had a sister, but I don't know if she had any other siblings. The only person I see is a sister who was also in the pageants, just like Patsy. Patsy grew up in West Virginia and ended up going to West Virginia University, where she got her Bachelor's of Arts in Journalism. This is when she met Jon Ramsey. Now, I don't know how they met, but Jon was freshly divorced and had three adult children already. Apparently, their relationship grew very quickly, and they ended up getting married on November 5th, 1980. After their marriage, they had Burke in 1987. That is their oldest child, and Jon Benet, August 6th, 1990. Now, the family had several home bases. Jon, which again I'll do a completely different video on, had an exorbitant amount of money, and they had homes in West Virginia, and they ended up moving to Colorado because of his business, specifically Boulder, Colorado. Boulder, Colorado was a very small place, a very quiet neighborhood. You know, everybody kind of knew everything, but they definitely were not prepared for the tragedy that would strike a few years later. So, unfortunately, Patsy Ramsey had ovarian cancer. She was amazingly able to have children with ovarian cancer, which can happen. Unfortunately, this would end up taking her life later. But when she got the diagnosis, she was already at stage 4. And you can tell in some of the videos that you see that Patsy is quite sick, especially when Jon Benet and Burke were a lot younger. Nobody needs to go through this type of hell. And I'm very sorry that the cancer happened. Of course, the tragedy of her daughter passing away in such a violent and scary manner affected not only herself, but the entire world. It was odd that this happened. Every bit of this case is strange, and Patsy had her role to play. Now, I do want to disclose that I tried to get a hold of the copy of their book, Patsy and Jon Ramsey's book that they wrote, Ghost wrote, The Death of Innocence. It was impossible for me to get it at the library, and I couldn't get it on audio, and I wasn't going to pay $20 to $30 for a hardback book. No. So I have done most of my research through reading and watching interviews, and this case has been part of my life for a very long time. So I can pretty much recall things and interviews and things that tabloids and all of that stuff that we saw on Patsy Ramsey for the last almost 25 years. She keeps trying to direct me away from the whole situation. And that, again, that's fine. I'm trying to learn more about her. She was very powerful in her love for her children. It was an odd type of breathtaking love. And it engulfed her sometimes. It made her feel like she was choking. And it also felt off. She didn't see her children for who they were. And her kids weren't bad or anything like that, but she couldn't just enjoy her children for being her children. And she had a deep problem with them not being perfection. I know people have seen the interview with Burke on Dr. Phil and have cast all sorts of dispersions on him. He is a completely innocent child who didn't do anything. He didn't kill his sister, but he was brought up in a very emotionally manipulative home, and he suffered a tragic loss. He was also abused. Again, allegedly, supposedly, for entertainment purposes only. But I feel like Burke and Jon Benet were both abused in many different ways, especially verbally, but there were other ways that they were abused. And this was the sort of love hate disgust relationship that Patsy had with her children. Is she knew the things that had happened. She knew the things that were going on. And for whatever reason, she turned a blind eye to. And as far as the part of her death, she played her part. She had a role to play, but it's not all what you think. She looked at her children as the epitome of innocence and at the same time loathed them as much as she loved them. I just get this mixed feeling of dirtiness and just it's disgust that I feel. And I don't know if this is the disgust from the abuse or the disgust of her children not being the way she wants them to be. They were two individual children with lives and personalities. They were not dolls. And I think that was part of the issue with the way she viewed both of her children. And yes, there was complete favoritism with Jon Benet because she was female, but Burke was special in his own way. There was a lot of parenting fails that happened from both parents, but Patsy didn't keep them safe. And Patsy sometimes couldn't stand to look at her own children because she didn't like what she saw. And I don't know if it was the abuse that she was seeing, the disgust in herself, the worst parts of herself, or the fact that her children just weren't what she wanted them to be. I think it's probably a combination of all of that. Um, Patsy wore a mask in public. And I'm not just talking about makeup. A lot of people call makeup their masks, but that's not what I'm saying. She wore a different face in public. And behind closed doors, she was a completely different person. What I'm seeing is she was very non committal. She was a shell of a person by the time she already had her second child. Possibility that this is all postpartum depression, but I don't think so. I I'll get into this later, but Jon Ramsey had a lot of deep dark connections, and I think somebody in Patsy Ramsey's family did too. And I'm not saying it's her father. It could have been an uncle or somebody. But Patsy was used to the abuse because she had it herself. And maybe that's why she was loathsome and disgusted with her own children, is because she saw and couldn't protect or didn't protect, got them in the same position. But she did not stop Jon from doing vicious, terrible things. And what I'm hearing is she is responsible. And I believe she is. She is responsible for a very specific part. She did not kill her children, but she did play a part in that day and every day prior to that. Wow, she's really I'm gonna have to do another part because this is difficult. But the thing I want to get across first is Patsy was not the person that she presented herself to be. And I think people understand that. But I also want to point out that most likely she was abused in the same way that her children were, especially in the pageant world. And I don't know why she introduced her child to a pageant when she actually had a very negative experience herself. Now, she did make friends, she did get, attention. I don't know if this was for opportunities, but it seems very much like a Hollywood stage mom. The mom knows what's going on and maybe has had some of the abuse themselves, but they go ahead and put their child out there anyway for the money, for the notoriety, for the, fame, for being in a position of power. That family was extremely power hungry. And she definitely played her part in that. She put her children, both of them, in very dangerous and negative situations. And she dealt with it by bringing guilt to her. Patsy Ramsey let someone else in at certain points in her life. Sometimes it was a protector to help her through her own abusive situation, but other times it was someone to take her place so certain things could keep going. Her appearance was everything, not just into the public, but into the very dark underground world that she was part of. She was a willing participant as an adult. I can't say she was as a child because no child would choose that. But as an adult, she was a willing participant. Unfortunately, she was groomed not only to be in the position that she was, but also to be the wife of Jon Ramsey. This was her purpose. And she could have broken the cycle. And she didn't. And that's why she shut down and never recovered. Besides the fact that she had a terrible loss of her child, she could have done so much differently in her life. But for whatever reason, right now, I am feeling that she was supposed to be Jon Ramsey's wife and the father of her children. She was supposed to be there. This was part of her life path. And she's in solitude right now because of the pain and difficulty that happened during the life. I'm going to go ahead and end this part here. I know this is just a snippet. I know this has been kind of all over the place and part could be repeating. But the thing is, she is tough and she does not want to speak. I'm not trying to force her to speak, but I'm trying to read the situation and I'm seeing a lot more scary things than I realized. So I am going to stop this video now, regroup, get some protection, and I will continue on another time. There's a lot of darkness here. Not just the things that we know about, but the things that are coming to surface that I'm seeing. And I need to back off and we're going to be done with that. Before I go, I want to tell everybody go to my website www.lisatebrinke.com where you will see a new section called Dreamsicles and Moonfire. I am now a seller of several different things including tarot cards, essential oils, incense, tumbles, many different things. And I've also made some stuff. My shop will be premiering a little bit later, but there are already some stuff on there that you can take a look at. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of pictures in to where you can see a sneak peek here of what I have, but I'm going to give you a couple of little sneak peeks here with some tumbles that I have that are going to be for sale. I'm also going to show you, I've been making pendulums, which This is all handmade by me. So crystal, I may have shown this already. And then in this, there are jasper stones. And then this is a new one that I have done with the butterfly. So you can kind of see that here. All right, so I'm really excited about this. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while. So check out my website, www.lisatebrinke.com, and you can take a look at the sneak peek here. Otherwise, everybody have a great day or night wherever you are in the world. Remember that every single day is a gift. Use your time wisely. Bye for now.